Hello and welcome to Your Stocks in the Mumbai News Studio this Monday afternoon. I'm Ekta Batra and with me is Vinny Motiwala. Well, it's turning out to be a session which is extremely weak for the markets from the get-go, and we have the mid-cap index which is reading under pressure. Yes, we haven't seen any more exaggerated losses beyond that 2% cut, but nonetheless, the advance decline ratio has been extremely dismal with no sort of recovery in sight at this point in time. We have the Bank Nifty which is under pressure also. So we have the Bank Nifty which is down around 1.6% at this point. And do watch out for the India VIX which is spiked up quite significantly. It's currently up around 6 odd percent, and on a year-to-date basis it's in positive terrain. It's up around 3 odd percent. But month-to-date, that's basically what one should probably track in terms of the India VIX. It's gained around 17%, giving you the extent of volatility that the market is anticipating at this point. Hi, Vinny.
Hi, Ekta. Good afternoon. But markets, clearly that pressure continues on the markets. We saw that last week. Today, the first day of the week, nothing exciting because broader markets, that is also underperforming. Look at the Nifty mid-cap down almost 2% in trade. Nifty small-cap also clearly under pressure. And a lot of names, we're seeing that they're seeing falling in trade, especially from the PSU side or even the railway. So RailTel, RVNL, all of them also under pressure. Today, that's a theme that we're watching out for. Other than that, Jubilant Engravia, VIP Industries, DB Realty, among some of the Nifty 500 names that are seeing a fall of as much as 7% in trade. So clearly, pressure that we're seeing is building on in terms for the market. Let's watch out for where it's headed in the last 1 hour of trade, that one and a half hour of trade as well. But yes, that's what we're watching out for today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, joining us this afternoon, we have Astha Jain, research analyst at HEM Securities. Ruchit Jain, who is joining in to talk about the technicals of the market. Astha as well as Ruchit, welcome to the show. Well, Ruchit, before we kick off the queries, as usual, just wanted your call in terms of how you would approach today's weakness, because it is exaggerated for the Nifty as well as for the sensex. The Nifty, in fact, is down around 241 points right now. We have the sensex, which is close to a 700-point cut as we speak. And the Bank Nifty, too, is extending its losses. So down around 1.7% currently for the Bank Nifty. Your take on today's trade and how you would approach it, and what do you expect probably in the next 1.5 hours?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon, Ekta. Very good afternoon to all of you. Well, the data clearly remains negative. What we have seen in last 1 week, this entire selling has mainly been led by FIS, where the start of the October series in index future segment, they had long short ratio of about 81%, but that is now reduced to 58%. So they have unwound long positions and have formed fresh short positions as well. But still around 82,000 contracts are net on the long side, which may be getting unwinding today. So I think the near-term trend still remains negative because of the selling that we are seeing, and until we see this selling coming to a halt, I think we would see a continuation of the downward momentum. The only thing is that the lower time frame charts, the RSI setups are a bit oversold now, because since last 1 week we have continuously seen one-way correction. So I think there could be in between pullback moves from this support of 24,600 to 24,700, but any pullback move towards 25,200, 25,300 is likely to get sold into. So I think just from a trading perspective, 24,600, 24,700 is the range where markets might take some support and show some pullback move from there.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those levels and the support over there for the market. Good afternoon, Ruchit, as well as Astha. Let's start with the queries then that we have coming in from the viewers. Now, this first query is from Preetam Shah, who's writing from Gujarat. They're holding 25 shares of Trent at a price of around 7,000 rupees per share. So making some bit of a profit here right now. Stock is trading at 7,369 rupees. Wants to know whether he should continue to hold this or look to sell. What's the advice on this one? Astha, starting with you.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone out there. Talking about trend, I think gold is a better option as of now, because we are still seeing some value going ahead in this counter, and we are giving the price target of around 7,900. So I think a lot of upside to go from here. That's why we are recommending gold. Talking about this counter, we have seen strong performance in Q1 FY25, and we have seen that they have reduced their losses in the Star Bazaar. So that is the major thing. And talking about Zudio, and Westside, so they have strong store addition for Zudio, and in case of Westside also, 228 stores of West Sides with the 559 stores of Zudio across the 178 cities is one of the strong data to look upon, which it itself signifies that the company will be having a strong performance going from here as well. So we are positive on this counter because markets are weak. So we are seeing some sort of a weakness in the counter, but there's no need to worry. I think hold is a better strategy rather than booking out profit. And price target can be set at around 7,900 odd levels. But the horizon here should be medium term because in the short term, we can see some sort of downside more due to the market's volatility.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Ruchit? What's your sense on trend?
So last, I think 14 months, we have not seen any red candle on the monthly chart. So this clearly indicates that the stock is in an uptrend, and any kind of declines that are coming in between, we are witnessing very strong buying interest in the stock. So the momentum setter readings are overbought, but I think these overbought readings should get cool off with time-wise correction rather than price-wise correction, because in such stocks where the buying interest is good, so I think the price-wise downside becomes very limited. So I think one can expect some time-wise correction in the stock in the near term, but does not seem that we would see any kind of significant price-wise correction. So if we can keep a time horizon of about 2 to 3 quarters of 6 months or so, then it's better to hold on to this one.
Okay, all right. Well, better to hold on to this one. Trend, which is up around 87% in the past 6 months. I just want to point out that now you are seeing that sort of weakness seep into the market. So it's becoming a little tentative as we speak. Like I mentioned, the Bank Nifty is really taking it on the chin, so down around 1.4%. As of now, to put it into perspective, there are only 13 stocks which are in the green in the Nifty space out of 50, and a couple of stocks which are just about holding their head above the water include something like a Cipla and an ICICI Bank. So let's see whether ICICI Bank gives way, considering the kind of weakness that we've seen in the Bank Nifty. But let's see, there could be some amount of buying at lower levels as well, which could be emerging for the Bank Nifty, which was down around 1.5%, and now it's recovered a tad bit from the lows, but just about a tad bit at this point in time. Still volatile, you'd have to say, currently. Ruchit, any call with regards to the Bank Nifty and, banking stocks specifically today?
So if I combine the banking and the financial space, then Fin Nifty is looking quite oversold. So I believe that there should be some pullback move from current levels, even in Bank Nifty as well as Fin Nifty. But yes, the volatility is likely to remain high. So 50,500, 50,300 is the immediate support range for the stock. We did slip below that for intraday, but I think from a closing basis, that 50,300 would be very crucial mark to watch. But because of this oversold setup, these are not the levels where one should look for creating short positions. And in fact, if any existing shorts are there, then one can look to book profits and exit from short positions over there. So one can expect some pullback move in the Fin Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty index.
Sure, keeping an eye out on the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty. And for Bank Nifty, Ruchit has highlighted 50,300 today as a closing level mark. Let's keep an eye out on that one. Let's move on to the next query then. Ritu Srivastava, who's writing from Noida, she's holding 30 shares of Zomato at a price of rupees 80 per share, currently trading at 264 Zomato, so making considerable profit here. Wants to know whether should she continue to hold or maybe book her profits out. Astha, what's the view on this one?
So I think because the profits are huge and we are seeing the markets showing downside. So here, if the horizon is only long term, then stay invested. But in the short term, I don't mind if some profit can be also booked at the current juncture. So partial profit booking is always recommended in such sort of market. So recommending partial profit booking and keep the partial holding for the price target of 295 to 300 in the longer term. So now talking about this counter Zomato, we have seen their strong performance across the categories, the acquisition of this Paytm entertainment business and ticketing business will really help the company in getting more wallet share from the urban consumers. So we are thinking that in the short term, we might see some sort of hiccups in the financial performance due to this acquisition, but in the longer term, it will always give a strong benefit to the company. In fact, the company's operational performance was also strong in the quarter gone by. So looking after all these factors, we are positive on this counter in the longer term. But here, since the investor is sitting on the huge profit, so I think partial profit booking can be done and keep holding the partial stock for the price target of 298 to 300.
Okay, all right. Thanks very much for that, Astha. So that's the view coming in on Zomato. Any views on that, Ruchit, in terms of, a couple of these new age listings?
Then the overall trend for Zomato is still very positive. We have seen that higher top, higher bottom structure, which is getting continued. And if you look at the recent correction also, the stock has corrected along with the market correction, but we are not witnessing any volume-based selling in the stock. So in the absence of any volume-based selling, I think the price-based downside should be very limited. Major support for the stock is around 240, 245, where the 100-day moving average is placed. So I would advise to continue to hold on to the positions, and in case if one is looking for fresh buying in this, then if the stock corrects around 240, that could be good levels for fresh entry.
Sure, keep an eye out on those levels over there. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because after the break also we'll be continuing with all your stock-related queries. Welcome back. You're watching Your Stocks on CNBC-TV18. We still have our experts with us, Astha Jain as well as Ruchit Jain, to solve all your stock-related queries. But let's move on and keep it going with the queries. The next one is from Raman Kumar, who is writing to us from New Delhi, holding 40 shares of Suzlon Energy at a price of 14 rupees per share. Wants to know what's the future prospect of his investment here. Is it worth holding? Ruchit, I'll come to you on this one first. What are the technicals looking like for Suzlon Energy? What are you watching out for here?
Well, the stock has rallied significantly over last 1.5 years. The momentum readings have given negative divergence recently. So I think there could be some short-term corrective phase in the stock. But since his buying price is too low, I would recommend him to book at least partial profits, if not full, and hold rest of the position. In the near term, we expect the stock to correct towards 66, 65 kind of range, where the 100 EMA support for the stock is placed. One need to reassess the situation again, whether the stock resumes his uptrend from that. But at current levels, I would recommend him to book partial profits and hold rest of the positions.
Okay, and Astha, what about you? Suzlon's given good returns in the past 6 months. Fundamentally, how is it placed?
It is placed strongly as of now, because what we are seeing that company has given these strong guidance also, and what we are seeing that installed capacity is 20.7 gigawatt as of now, but it will be going to increase and it will be around 24 gigawatt by FY26. So what does that mean? That means that there will be a significant increase in the CAGR as well as their return ratios. First of all. Secondly, I think this company is well placed because they are getting robust ordering, and I mean the tenders are coming from the government, and on that basis also we are expecting the strong financial performance to be continued by this counter in the future also. So recommending hold on this counter. Initial price target which we are giving to this counter is around rupees 80.
Okay, around 80 odd rupees is your target for Suzlon on the fundamentals. Now we have Shweta Tiwari, who writes to us from MP. She holds 20 shares of LIC, which she's bought at 700. She wants to know what to do, whether she should sell or to stay invested. Currently, the stock is under pressure. Today, it's down around 4%. But overall, right now, Shweta is sitting on returns. So what would your approach be, Astha, on this? Do you think that it's good for more upside?
I think upside, we really need to see the results first of all, and then we can decide that there will be a steam left in this counter or not. Although at the current juncture, what we have seen is that there is a strong growth in their AUM of around 16%, and now the AUM stands at around 53 lakh crore. So a strong growth of 16%. In fact, in their new business premium also, the growth was significant, and they have a strong market share by new business premium at around 76.5% in Q1 of FY25. So updates which were given by this counter is looking decent, but we really need to see that how that reflect in the results. So my idea here is to book some profit, since the investor is sitting in the huge profit, and remain invested in the partial quantity. Initial target which I would like to give to the stock is around 1020 to 1050 odd levels.
1020 to 150 odd levels is what you are keeping an eye on, Astha. But Ruchit, on the technicals, how are you looking at LIC? Because in the past also we've seen that 1000 mark, once it reaches around that, and then it starts seeing a fall again. What's the word of the technicals?
Yeah, so we have seen some correction along with the broader markets in last 1.5 months, but no, there are no volumes on the correction. So the stock is going down without any no volumes. So I think that indicates that at lower levels, whenever it comes around support, we could again see some buying interest over there. So the support is around 850 to 880 range. So I think there could be some more correction in the stock towards that 880 mark. But if the view is for mid to long term, then I would recommend to continue to hold on. And from those levels of 850, 880, I think the stock should again see some.
Okay, I think we've lost that connection with Ruchit, so we'll get back to him on any more queries. But we have Bala, who writes to us from Chennai now. He wants to know what to do, whether he can buy Poonawalla FinCorp at the current price from a 1 to 2 year perspective. Astha?
With the appointment of with the change in the management, what we are seeing, this company is looking after the investment in their technology, in their collection efficiency. So I think that all we really need to see in the results as well, because ultimately the financial performance is what the markets always look upon, and whatever the efforts the management are taking in order to revamp the business, that really need to be, certified by the financial performance. So right now, my idea here is to just wait for more decline and then make entry into the stock. And the better, idea is to just see the results and then make entry, rather than going into this counter right now, because markets are also volatile and result season is about to kickstart. So rather it is better to wait for the results rather than making entry as of now. So I would like to suggest here, wait and watch.
Okay, let's wait and watch for Poonawalla FinCorp's results and then maybe decide on what one has to do with that. But Ruchit, I'll come to you also for Poonawalla FinCorp. What is your view on this one on the technicals?
So the stock is in a short-term corrective phase, but has a good support around 330 kind of levels, where even if you look at the monthly chart, whenever there have been correction in last 2.5, 3 years, the stock has not reached its 40-day exponential moving average on monthly chart, which is around 330 now. So I would recommend a buy and dip strategy for the stock, because if the stock corrects towards at 340, 330 and you buy over there, then the risk reward ratio would also become favorable. So buy and dip strategy should be kept, and in case if we get dip around the 340, 350 range, that would be good range to buy the stock.
Okay, all right. That's on Poonawalla FinCorp. Ruchit Jain now writes to us from Pune. He holds 70 shares of Power Grid, which he's bought at 160. He wants to know what to do, whether he should stay invested in this particular counter or not. Power Grid under pressure as well, but overall Rahul sitting on a profit. Do you think, Ruchit, it would be wise to skim off some profits on stocks such as Power Grid also in this market?
So the longer term trend remains positive, but there could be some corrections in the near term because of the overbought setups, and 300 to 270 is where the major support range for the stock is placed. So yes, partial profit booking could be done, but if he has a long term perspective, then I won't recommend him to exit the whole quantity, but maybe 30 to 40% of the quantity which is holding can be booked over here.
Okay, and Astha, what's your view coming in on Power Grid for the long term? Would it be an attractive hold?
Yes, I think it would be. So we are recommending hold on this counter. Initial price target which we are giving to this counter is at around 350 odd levels. Talking about this counter, they have a strong pipeline of projects, and in fact, management has guided a strong capex of around 250 billion or 300 billion. So I think that is a strong capex to look upon, which will in turn reflect the strong earning visibility also. So looking after all that, in the longer term, it is looking a decent counter to stay invested on. So recommending a hold. Price target is given at around 350 at this point of the time.
Okay. All right, Astha, as well as Ruchit. On that note, we're going to wrap up on the show. Thanks very much for joining and taking us through all of those queries. We wrap up on the show with the fact that the markets are even weaker than when we started off. So the mid-cap index is now at the low point of the day, showing a steep cut of around 1,500 odd points. We have the Nifty, which is down around 280 odd points, and the Bank Nifty, which is showing a cut of over 1,000 odd points. So a red screen is what you can see. To put it into perspective, we just about have 9 stocks which are trading in the green in the Nifty, as compared to 13 stocks which were trading in the green in the Nifty just a couple of minutes ago. So that's the update on the markets. Do remember, you can always email us your queries. We'll address them with our experts on your stocks. As of now, Closing Bell will take you through what seems to be a weak hour of trade.